Hello classmates, so in this video, pag-usapan naman natin paano mag-retouch ng pictures here in Photoshop. Now, note that there are terms na medyo confusing and medyo technical, no? But if you just follow along, if you just use the same method, these methods na gagawin natin, even sa anong klase na mga pictures na ganito, um, you should be able to clean that up, no, or to retouch or clean up. So without further ado, let's get started, no. First and foremost, duplicate muna natin yung layer natin. Press Ctrl J 2 times to duplicate the layers. Yung bottom layer, let's name it low para hindi tayo ma-confuse. And the third layer sa top, name natin yan as high or ganyan. Okay. Turn off the high frequency. Okay, itong high na layer natin. Select the low. And then we are going to add Gaussian blur. Go to filter, blur, Gaussian blur. You can choose any other type of blur, but in most cases, Gaussian blur works perfectly. So Gaussian blur, and then make sure yung slider mo is nakaset muna siya sa pinaka left side. Okay? Do this for all the images na gagawin mo. Okay? Just because na naka-8 yan ganyan, yes, 8 na rin yung gagamitin mo sa mga projects mo. So, isagad mo lang siya sa left side. And then, ang gagawin natin is dahan-dahan natin siyang slide to the right. Oh, by the way, make sure that preview is checked. Kasi if hindi niya naka-check, hindi mo makikita kung ano na yung result. So, preview dapat naka-check yan. Now, slowly and gradually, slide the radius until such na yung skin niya is nagiging soft. Okay? Soft kasi blurred, right? If that makes sense. So, yun lang. Make sure na yung skin niya is soft, hindi na natin nakikita masyado yung mga yung pagka-rough ng kanyang skin. When we say rough, ito po yung ibig nating sabihin, no? Ayan. Mga ganyan. So, see? Naging soft na sila kasi naka-blur. So, timplahin niya lang. Wag niyo lang masyadong isagad na parang nasisira na yung mukha. Maybe just start siguro with, I believe 9 works well in this case. Now, yung mga red na mga pimples na yan, yung sobrang klaro, we can resolve that later. For now, just make the overall skin look smooth because of this blur, and then click OK to apply. Next is we are going to turn on naman yung high frequency natin or yung high layer natin sa top. Also select that layer and then punta tayo sa image, apply image. Okay, so this is going to be the same thing, same settings for all the skin retouching or pimple removing na, or sa in general, itong method ito, this is gonna be the same settings for every set of images, okay? So, first, source. The name of the source is Skin Retouch Tutorial. That's the name of our PSD file. The source layer, make sure it is low, okay? Low layer. Yan yung name ng layer natin ito, itong low. Kung hindi low, ginamit mo sa second layer dyan, kung siguro ginawa mo dyan is untitled -1, then make sure untitled -1 din yung nakalagay. But, yun nga, if you've been following, dapat naka-low yung name ng layer na yan. So, we select that, no? Low. Make sure channel is RGB if hindi siya nakaset sa RGB. Invert, dapat unchecked. Blending, very important, make sure it is subtract. And then scale at 2, not 1, but 2. Offset, not 127, not 129. Make sure this is 128. Okay? And then click OK. Alright. Now, ang nakikita na natin ngayon, classmates, are actually the frequencies. High frequency. High frequency, ibig sabihin, yun yung mga texture. Okay? Yung surface texture ng skin natin. Or yung picture na to. Everything that are gray, okay, here, yung mga gray, yun ay mga colors lang. Okay? Or low frequency. Itong mga may mga dark, mga ganyan, may mga reddish, yan. Anything that is not gray dito, classmates, are the frequencies. High frequencies themselves or the textures. So, gagawin na natin is very simple. We are going to take our favorite na mga healing tools. We can choose the healing brush, the spot healing, but my favorite talaga in this case is the patch tool. Okay? I'm gonna select patch tool and I'm just gonna zoom in. And gagawin ko lang is I am going to remove yung mga unwanted natin sa skin. So in this case, itong pinaka mata ng pimple. So I'll just select that. Make sure na sa patch tool, if ginagamit mo to, make sure source is selected. You can play around with diffusion, classmates. No? Diffusion is, if it's super low, yung magiging result is going to be somewhat kind of harsh, yung edges. If you set it naman sa pinaka maximum, which is 7, yung magiging result is somehow softer. Now, in some cases, you need a softer diffusion, and sometimes naman, you need a harsher diffusion. No? So, depende pa rin yan sa result. Okay, so you could just play around with the diffusion, classmates. What works for you? Okay. Now, I'm gonna press Ctrl D to deselect this selection kasi tapos ko nang matanggal yun, no? So, ayan, wala na yung pimple dyan. Yung mata ng pimple. Next naman, gagawin ko is I'm gonna select this as well. And then, click and drag. The idea, classmate, is kung gusto mong palitan tong, for example, ito, papalitan ko siya. Yung ipapalit mo, make sure it is the closest region or the closest skin. Huwag yung sobrang malayo kasi if sobrang layo, then hindi naman kasi pantay-pantay yung texture ng skin natin. Minsan, iba yung texture ng skin mo dito sa cheeks, iba din yung dito mo sa forehead, diba? So, hindi mo gagawin tong like, eto yung ipapalit mo is yung texture dito sa top. It's gonna look bad. Okay, so, again, make sure na the nearest lang. Okay? Yan. And then, just make your way hanggang sa clean up mo yung mga tawagan na natin yung mga very obvious na mga skin problems or mga pimples. Okay? So, if fast forward ko lang to, classmates, and if you're satisfied now, let's meet there na lang kapag tapos na din kayo. Alright? Now, as you can see, classmates, I have to compromise, no? Kasi somehow, hindi naman maiiwasan na ito talaga is magkaka-problem tayo dito. Kasi may mga strand ng hair. So, I have to compromise. So, siguro I'll just clean up the entire hair na lang dito. Okay? By the way, classmates, one more thing. If parang may discoloration yung mga nakikita nyo dyan, don't worry kasi sa next natin na step, we are going to master the color or we are going to clean up naman yung color. Itong ginagawa natin ngayon is kine-clean up lang natin yung mga details muna. Okay. So, I think I'm done. I think I'm good. If ever man na may need akong tatanggalin, if may mga na-overlook man ako ng mga textures, I can do that later on. But for now, gagawin natin is para makita na natin yung result, is we are going to change the blend mode of this high frequency to linear light. Okay. Group muna natin sila. So there. So this is the before. This is the after. Before, after. Okay. Now, we can name this group, classmates, as retouch. And then, expand muna natin. So, ito yung high, ito yung low natin. As you could see, if I turn off the high, if I turn off the group, nag-show up yung mga texture. Okay? Those are the texture. Texture lang yung tinanggal natin. So, itong mga natitirang mga pimple na to, hindi na actually yan mga pimple. Those are discoloration. And we are going to recolor that. We are going to fix that, no? And to do that, we are going to expand lang muna yung retouch natin na group. And then we are going to add another layer between the high and the low layers, no? So here's what you're going to do. Select the low layer and add a blank layer. What it will do is it will add another layer on top of that layer selected. Okay? Kasi kapag wala kang layer sinelect, pag mag-add ka ng new layer, it's gonna be added on the very top. So select muna natin yung low, then add natin blank layer. And then we are going to rename this as recolor. Okay? So if there's anything that you need, if there's anything that you need to recolor, select this layer. And then grab your brush tool. Before anything else, go back to your eyedropper tool. Here's our eyedropper tool. Make sure it is set to 3x3. Not 3x3 or 5x5. Ibig sabihin, yung kokopyahin natin ng mga color are an average color of a particular area. Okay? Kasi kapag naka-point sample lang, ibig sabihin nun is isang pixel lang yung isa-sample natin. We don't want that. So, gusto natin na average of a specific area. So, I'll be choosing 3x3 for now. And also, make sure that the sample is current and below. Not all layers. Not current layer, but current and below. So, ibig sabihin, we can sample any pixels in this current layer and the layer below. Yun lang. Okay? Kasi if we are going to consider yung high or all layers, that's gonna be problematic. We would be sampling a different color, maybe a black or something like that. Okay? So make sure it is current and below. Current layer selected. And then take your brush tool and then just hold the Alt key, classmates, to sample a particular color. So the idea is to make or to copy a certain color sa surrounding. Ibig sabihin, kung ito babaguhin natin yung color niya, yung ipapalit natin niya is yung nearest. Okay? Huwag yung masyadong malayo. So I'm gonna sample siguro this color right here. Yan. Hold the Alt key and click on that. Now, before you apply, diba, by default, yung flow mo is at 100%. And then when you apply, it's gonna be really harsh, I would say. Somehow, ayaw natin na medyo harsh yung or mapasobra tayo. Mas maganda if may kulang kasi we can just add more and more instead of having so much. Mahirap kasi siya i-reduce, no? If that makes sense. So, ang gagawin natin is Control Z muna ako. I will set the flow at siguro mga 10%. So that when I apply, hindi niya ma-recolor completely, no? And if I need to add some more, I can just dab and dab, click and click and drag, click and drag, click and drag. See? Ibig sabihin, I have better control of how much color I want. Okay? So, here's another tip, especially if you're not sure ano ipapalit mong color. Pwede natin gawin is mag-add tayo ng parang x-ray natin, no? This is how it works. So mag-add lang tayo ng adjustment layer called black and white. And yung black and white natin na layer, gagawin natin is we are going to reduce the reds or turn the reds into black. Okay? Or dark. Now, yung mga dark na mga spots, yun yung masyadong maraming red. Ibig sabihin, yan is red, yan is red, yan is red. Or there are more reds on that particular area. So now we know which part. Because remember, pimples, yung original pimple natin is reddish. No? Ibig sabihin, there are a need to recolor that area. Sorry sa English natin. So we can just leave it there. We can turn it off, turn it on naman later. So, balik lang tayo sa recolor layer natin. Grab your brush tool and then just sample the neighboring um, pixels and then just brush and or dab on it. Maganda din na pala na yung brush mo is yung hardness niya is set to 0. So, so soft yung or magbe-blend kumbaga. Now, gagawin mo lang is you're going to make those reddish na mga parts brighter by sampling the bright parts of the skin and apply it onto the dark part of the skin. Yan. Okay? So, yes, I understand. Medyo matrabaho nga to. But worth it naman, classmates, yung magiging result. So, if a fast forward ko lang siya, classmates, ha? I hope you get the idea na. So, just keep on holding the Alt key. Oh, no. Not keep on holding. Hold the Alt key and click to sample a color. Release the Alt key and then brush. Yun lang. You only need to hold the Alt key once if magsasample ka ng color. Yan. Okay? And you get the idea. So, fast forward ka lang ha. And see you na lang sa final result. Okay. So, gagawin ko is i-check ko lang kung okay ba yung ginawa natin. But I'm looking at it, no? Medyo napabright tong part na to, or I would say yellowish at ito, reddish to. Kasi, kita niyo naman, darker yung part dito, brighter here. And we know, darks are the reddish pixels. So, let me just turn off ang ating x-ray, itong black and white natin na layer. And as you could see, goods naman yung skin natin, no? Na na-clean up na natin. However, itong part na to, as I was expecting, it's a lot brighter than it needs to be. So, gagawin lang natin is sample natin to or kuhanin natin yung color dito at saka ilagay natin dito. So, turn on your black and white, yung x-ray natin ulit. Go back to the recolor layer, grab your brush tool, and sample nyo lang itong colors here, and then just brush it in these areas. Okay? Just make it a little bit darker. Just a little bit. Para mag-balance out ba? Okay? Check ko lang ulit. Turn off ko lang muna yung black and white. And there you go. It seems nag-work naman siya. It looks good. In these areas right here, I could still see some of the pimples. Okay? So what I could do, if may nakalimutan ka, may na-overlook ka, select the high frequency layer or the high layer and use your patch tool ulit. And then just do the same things. Same thing. Yung ginawa natin kanina. Okay, ano ba to? Ba't ayaw niya mawala? Okay. If there is a pixel or there are areas, classmates, na kahit anong gawin mong pag-patch, hindi siya mawala-wala. Ibig sabihin nun is that it's not a high-frequency detail. It's that part is not from here or yung texture. It maybe is the color. So, maybe you just need to change the color of that. Okay? Yung ginawa natin kanina. So, and I'm just slowly making my way na tanggal natin yung very obvious na mga pimples. Sa mga cases na to, classmates, sometimes you really have to compromise. But before we compromise, try muna natin i-change yung color dito. No? Select natin yung recolor layer, grab your brush tool, and sample yung neighbor niya na pixel and brush against that pimple and see if nawawala siya. If hindi man, then we have to compromise. We need to to really get rid of that detail, no? So to do that, balik tayo sa high or frequency natin na layer, and then just get rid of it. There, compromise, because that's how it is, diba? Really have to. We have no choice. So for as long as yung pag-compromise mo, you will leave no traces. Kumbaga hindi siya obvious, hindi siya parang may ginalaw talaga dyan. That's the most important thing lang din naman. Aside sa magawa nating tanggalin yung mga pimples niya, make sure as well that it looks natural as much as possible. Okay? When we say natural, ibig sabihin kahit sino papatingin mo, hindi nila manotice agad yung ano yung missing, ano yung mga parang may anomaly sa picture. Okay? Yan yung ibig sabihin natin sa normal. Okay? Yan. And I think so far so good. So if you have more time, you can clean up everything here. But this is the idea of the method ng gamit natin is frequency separation. Ibig sabihin, yung high frequency, which are the details, isa-separate natin siya sa low frequency, which is the color. So we can edit them individually, no? I-edit natin yung color and tsaka i-edit natin yung texture or yung mga pimples. So there you go. Alright, I'll be uploading more retouch exercises. Stay tuned lang, classmates, no? See you on our next na mga videos. Bye.